In this video I'm talking about the best kick you can use for a self-defense situation. Now, I know not all kicks you're going to be, depending on what situation you're going to be in, you might not even be able to use a kick at all. But if you do have the option to use a kick, this, in my opinion, is the best kick you can use. Now, before I quickly get onto that, I'm just going to give 2 runner-up kicks which you can also use. So, first one is just up, snap kick to the groin. Obviously, if you've got a man attacker, that is extremely going to hurt and they're going to drop to the floor pretty quick. But there are always certain scenarios where they could move, or you may not land it correctly. You may kick them in the upper leg or something like that. They may turn and you may like hit their knee on the way through, so you're not always going to be able to land that one perfect. And if you don't hit them in the right space, in the right place, and you just hit the top of the leg, yeah, it's going to hurt them, but maybe it won't be not quite as effective. So, the second one is the oblique kick. Boom, down low to the leg, using the oblique kick. You can use the side kick down to the leg as well. But anything coming at that angle was going to jar the knee. Even if you don't come up, well, bam, or break their leg or anything drastic like that, even just that little jar on the knee could sometimes really put someone off to want to carry on fighting you. But on the other hand, it might not. That's why this one's not always that extremely effective. Like I said, especially if you don't put it off well. I mean, if you land it and you jar the leg and you break their leg, then yeah, of course, the situation is going to be over. But if you just jar their leg just a little bit, then it might not put them off enough and they might come in still to attack you. So this brings me on to the last one, and this one, like I said, I think is by far the best one to throw. And it is just literally simple, roundhouse kick to the leg, to the thigh. Nice and simple, roundhouse kick to the thigh. Why do I think this is one of the best ones? Because if you're training in MMA or Thai boxing, you are throwing this kick hundreds upon thousands of times. You are throwing this kick. This is the most popular kick, and it's the most popular kick what work against trained fighters. So this roundhouse kick, like I said, you've had numbers and numbers of reps, so you're more likely to have a good, strong, hard kick, and you're more likely to land it correctly because you have repped this kick out loads of times. Another reason why, as well, I think when you get into Thai boxing and MMA and you've been doing it a while, yes, admittedly, this kick to drop a fighter, someone like even at like the top level, can sometimes take about 5 kicks to land before you're actually going to do real effective damage to the leg. But, just like I said about you throwing that kick loads of times, that kick has been landed on them hundreds of times. They've got conditioning to that. If you go back, try and remember the first time you ever took a solid leg kick, mate, it hurts. And if you're fighting someone on the street who have never experienced that leg kick before, you're probably more likely to drop them with one solid leg kick. You're going to drop them. If you don't drop them, I definitely feel like you're going to put them off. It's going to definitely give them a shock. Even if, again, unlike the others, if you don't quite land it correctly, if you land down to the knee, or even if you land up, hit them on the hip bone, which is not good for you because it could hurt your leg. But like I said, if you're an experienced fighter, your leg's going to be a bit more conditioned. You're going to hurt them. Now, another thing as well is you don't wear shin pads, obviously, out of the street. Like I said, back to training, it was only last week I got a leg kick and got a dead leg, and that was with shin pads on. So you imagine what it's like with those shin pads on. Like I said, you're really going to give them give them damage, and it's all 3 of these kicks I spoke about as well are all low and to the legs, and obviously the main reason why, because they're harder to catch. Now, if I do land that kick and the person drops their leg hands down straight away, the hands, then obviously I can follow up with whatever. I can land a kick, if they drop their hands, then boom, boom. If that is necessary. But most of the time, you want to do as little as possible because of the law side of it. Yeah, you can defend yourself, but then there's defending yourself and then attacking. If you have to defend yourself because someone's coming on strong and aggressive, and you throw just one kick, and you've hurt them, and then you let them be, and then the scenario gets stopped, then you're more likely to get less in trouble in the eyes of law. When obviously if you land a heavy leg kick, and then you come up top, head kick, and knock them out, there could be questions asked, and everyone has mobile phones, cell phones, camera phones. People, it's more likely to get recorded. Yeah, CCTV cameras everywhere, so make sure, obviously, you're trying to do things correctly and you're not just trying to hurt people, and you are using it for self-defence, not to try and hurt people. Another reason as well is there are certain self-defence situations, like I said, some situations you can't even use kicks at all, but if you can, obviously, then use them. But other self-defence situations which not a lot of people talk about, which come up quite often, is if it's a friend or a family member which is attacking you, maybe because they've had too much to drink or whatever the scenario is, and you don't necessarily want to hurt them. This is why this could be a very nice warning little kick, as if to say, back off, and obviously they're going to take that kick. Remember that you're a trained fighter, it's going to hurt them, and hopefully they back off from it. And if they don't, then maybe boom, land it again, keeping them hands up, bam, smash that leg kick in again. Then maybe go for the other kicks if needed. But like I said, honestly, in my opinion, I've seen it before. I actually had two friends that was mucking about, and they were saying they didn't realise how effective a leg kick was. So basically, my mate let him kick his leg just to see how much it would hurt him, and he's not a trained fighter, never took a leg kick before, big strong fella. The person who was throwing the leg kick was only my sort of height, not the biggest of people, and he threw this leg kick, it was square on the leg, and yeah, he was done. He could barely walk, and he couldn't even end up going to work for a couple of days afterwards, which was looking back probably a bit stupid, but we were young and didn't do stupid things when you're young. But just like I said, I think people forget how effective this kick is. So remember what it was like when you first ever took a leg kick and your thighs weren't as conditioned to it, yeah? And also, you're often taking that leg kick with shin pads on if you're doing sparring. Obviously, if you've fought before, then you know how effective it can be. Thanks again for watching. I've got some other videos on self-defence, so if you want to go check them out, they're in the playlist over here. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that thumbs up, and leave a comment. Let me know which you think is the best kick to use, or should you use kicks at all anyway in a street fight.